Hello. Um, I could say every video I make after the last couple that I've posted, this would be like part 4, and I guess you could call it part 4. I don't know, but I don't want to keep going with part 5, part 6, part 7, part 8. This kind of thing. It's just it's another video, but you can call it part 4. Anyway, it's about Trump and what he's done, and the Republican Party, and the CIA, and the FBI, and what they do. I want to talk about Bankman-Fried, or I think his name was Fried. I don't know what the name of his company was, SXM or something. The crypto guy, the young kid that was going to be the first trillionaire in the world because of his cryptocurrency exchange. But he was convicted of embezzling money from the exchange, from customers that bought crypto, had crypto in his exchange, and all that kind of stuff. If you know anything about him, and I'm sorry, I'm not even sure of his name, but I know you know who I'm talking about. And but what he was up to. There was a news report out there that telling us what he was up to before he got arrested. He was giving, and I don't want to mention names, but all the Republicans and Democrats as well, he was giving them copious amounts of campaign funding money. And basically his only stipulation to get that money was he didn't want them to back Trump. He was anti-Trump. He wanted Trump out. He didn't want Trump to run for president or be able to run for president. And that's why he was given the money. He thought Trump was bad for the country. I think he was right. Now I think a lot of people think he was right. Except the losers, of course. But, it's just, now knowing that, and knowing Trump, and knowing that he's in bed with Putin and the Russian mob, without a doubt, because you don't build the buildings he built without approval by the Russian mob, and the Russian mob siphoned all the money out of his casinos, and that's why the casinos went broke. So, let's paint that picture first. So Bankman-Fried is trying to put the kibosh on Trump, and any political aspirations that he might have, and he was putting some serious money towards that effort, and the Masons or whoever runs this world would think they don't run it, but they think they do. Nobody's got the balls to tell them except for me. They don't run it. I do. So, it's just, he was going to be the first trillionaire. And the biggest problem he had wasn't that he was stupid. It was that they couldn't control him. He had no off and on switch. He did what he wanted. And when you're a trillionaire, and if you were a trillionaire, I hope you could do what you want. Because if you can't, all I can say is keep the money. I don't need it. And that's really the case, because I don't care how much money you got. You can't do anything you want. Bankman-Fried found that out. Now, I don't think he embezzled a dime. I don't think he broke a law. I think the Russian mob, maybe the CIA, or somebody in the shadows made sure that Bankman-Fried's accounting firm and lawyers embezzled the money and blamed Bankman-Fried for it and said he was in on it. Now, none of the accountants and none of the lawyers went to jail. Only Bankman-Fried went to jail. And what's the one thing you can't do in jail is you can't have a computer. So that was the goal, was to separate Bankman-Fried from his computer. Just like they did to me by putting me in jail in a psych ward. One thing I didn't have in there was a computer. I wasn't able to do what I'm doing right now. So, but I feel sorry for Bankman-Fried. I didn't even notice. I think the one thing that's telltale of all, Trump did not give Bankman-Fried a pardon. Never will. He put him in jail. Why would he give him a pardon? And his enemy is in the perfect place, in jail, where he can do no harm, So, Epstein was killed by Trump, but because even though Epstein was in jail, he could still do much harm to Trump with running his mouth and through his lawyers and cutting a deal with the DA. And if you're dead, you don't get a deal, and you're not hurt the threat to the person standing outside the jail that's running for president. So, that's the way I see it. I could be wrong. I was wrong in 1949. I was born in 1969, but I was wrong in 1949. Once. So, I'm just telling you. Don't believe what you hear with these news people, what they told you about Bankman-Fried and what he did and how guilty he was. I gotta say, and I said it before in my other videos, the Central Park Five, they were guilty too, right? They raped that girl, they beat her up, they did all those things to her. Trump wanted the Central Park Five killed. They wanted them executed. Now what do we know about the Central Park Five? They weren't even in Central Park when the thing happened. So, don't believe what you hear. Rex, the Go-Go Beach killer, he's not a killer. He didn't kill anybody. And, it's a shame. He lost his house, he lost his wife, he lost his kids. But nothing. I mean, look, the one thing I'll say about that case is if they have any evidence, real evidence, like a smoking gun, besides the hair, you know about it. You know about it on every newspaper, on the front page of every newspaper. We have the smoking gun. But you know why you don't know about it? Because it don't exist. Everything else is conjecture, coincidental. They don't even know where the girls died, how they died. So how can they say he did it? They don't even know what he did. So it's all a bunch of crap. They're just trying to check a box. Case closed. Solved. And it's not, and it's not. And you got the DA, the old DA, that went to jail. He had a hand in it. Somewhere they're saying. There was another guy, another police officer that had hands in it. And that makes for reasonable doubt. So they'll probably never get a conviction. So, don't believe what you hear. Read between the lines. Why are they doing what they're doing? Why are they saying what they're saying? Because they're trying to buy you. They're trying to put you in a box. And the box says sold on it because you bought it. It's sold. And they don't have to worry about you. What's the one item in the store they never worry about? The one that has a sold sticker on it. So, that's you. Sold. Well, get yourself unsold. Because it's a bunch of crap. Trump is a bunch of crap. He's a loser. He's the biggest loser out there. Anybody who knew him in school when he was young hated him. And who was his friend? His friend was Jeffrey Epstein. That was his friend. And look what he says about him now. Some friend, huh? You don't defend Epstein. Because he was the worst person I ever knew, but yet he's in thousands of pictures and thousands of emails, but he's the worst person he ever knew. That's his friend. So all I can say is count your blessings that he's not your friend. So, and if he is your friend, you're probably a big piece of shit walking on the planet. So goodbye.